Hi, everyone. Welcome to my Viral Wisdom course. Sign in, tell me where you're signing in from. I'm so excited to see you all. Hey, everyone. Tell me how you're feeling. Tell me what's going on. Hi, everyone. Welcome to my Viral Wisdom course, I think day 34, something like that. I am so honored that you're here. Sign in, tell me where you're signing in from. Hi, Andrea. Petra from Belgium. Dipali from London. Timka from Slovenia. So happy that you're here. Hi, Jayesh. Kiko. Lidaria from Lebanon. Leila from Jordan. The one powerful thing about this moment in history is definitely our connectivity online and people really connecting together online. So happy to see you all. Natalie from Athens, Greece. So I'm just going to give people a moment to sign in and connect, and then we shall begin. Hi, Samira, Andrea. Okay, so today I want to just focus on death and our collective morbid paranoia, phobia of death. So if you are in the slightest afraid of death, which every mortal is, I suggest you take a moment to listen in. You know, my talks are not entertaining necessarily, and they're not here to make you feel good necessarily. If that happens, wonderful. I'm here really to teach you about wisdom and how we can find the most wise way forward. So sometimes that kind of sucks. Sometimes that means seeing yourself in the mirror, seeing some brutal truths about yourself, and you end up feeling worse than when you began listening to me. I always say this about my courses, my conferences, listen to me at your own risk, because I'm not here to necessarily make you feel good, which to me is a transient little blip in your screen. I'm here to allow you to see your unyielding, unending wisdom. I'm here to activate your deeper power, but that means foregoing your momentary happiness sometimes. So just know that listening to me has a hazard, and I'm out there telling you about it. So let's talk about death. Culturally, globally, we are, let's admit it, terrified of dying. Yeah, no one is like, today would be a great day to die. Said no one ever, because we are not conditioned to do that. You know, when a baby is born, we celebrate. We celebrate with a baby shower, and we're so excited. When we're pregnant, we go for Lamaze classes and breathing classes. But who is really, having a death shower? Who really is having classes to prepare them for dying? And really, it's in this very simplistic differentiation that death has a unique hold over us, which actually causes suffering, which actually causes terrible pain. We just don't realize it. So let me explain. We are conditioned to only see the scene. And the moment we can't see the scene, we enter anxiety. Death is the unseen. Death is the unknown. Our entire life is to know. Our entire life is to predict. Our entire life is geared to give us a sense of safety and comfort. Hence, every culture has come up with its own post-life story. Some say you go to heaven, some say you go to the seventh dimension, some say you go to the bardos. Different stories to allow you to feel that you know what is essentially unknowable, which is what will happen to you after death, because we are terrified of not knowing what the hell is going to happen to us. It's too unseen and too unknown. And the human mind cannot bear the unseen and the unknown. Okay, this is a fact of your and my human mind. Notice your life. You must know. You must control. You must feel certain. You know it and I know it. Who knows it best, if they're very honest? A parent. Because a parent must design their child's life. That's why I teach conscious parenting, because I see the parental ego as the most insane ego of all. Doesn't mean the other egos are not as insane. You just see it bold, audacious, and unabashed in the parent. Because the parent not only wants to know their own life, not only wants to control their spouse's life or their partner's life, okay, with the ring, the legal contract, no problem, because adult to adult, no problem. Two fools wanting to control each other, no problem. But when we get to our children who come with this unbridled spirit to go anywhere their destiny desires, to be anything, to believe in any way, shape, and form, whatever their heart desires, we take that away. We abduct them from that capacity to wander through life, to discover. We take away our children's capacity to discover, to stay in the unknown, to quest. Every spiritual process begins with a quest. What is a quest? Quest is question. Question mark. Question mark means the answer is not known. Yes, you're staying in the question. You're staying in the quest, in the unknown. What does that mean? That means it is to be discovered, and it'll always be discovered. It is not yet. The not yet is an endlessly creative process. It is a hugely metamorphosizing process. It's constantly in flux. It's constantly burgeoning, and you don't know what's going to happen next. This is childhood. We have taken away the quest from our children's right to have a life of discovery. We've taken it away. And do you know how abducting and thieving that is? Right? I talk to parents with such love, don't I? But since I'm a parent, I can get away with it because I have too thieved my daughter from her right to know. I have pretended I know. I've told her what to do, how to do it, and I've told her such rubbish, such as to, be successful is to be happy is to be happy, and that she needs to do this, and then she needs to do that, and then she needs to do that, all the while knowing, because I know a little bit better than that I am talking through my behind. Okay, I look like I'm talking through my mouth. I'm talking through my, and yet I keep doing it because culture has given parents this unbridled power to do what the F they want. So we do it, no problem. But just understand what we're doing in terms of death. It's all related. When you take away the quest from the question mark of life, and life is constantly a question. When we take away the quest, we do not enter the path and the portal of evolution. Because to evolve means to be in an eternal quest, in the eternal question. So this is what we need to stay in to understand how to live life the most powerfully, the most bountifully. And here seems a paradox. How to live in the question and be most powerful? Because Western culture has told us that to be most powerful, you have to know. But Eastern mysticism understands that to think you know is not to be powerful, is to be an idiot, is to be a fool, is to be ignorant. Because the truth of reality is that it is forever a question mark. And therefore you have to forever be in quest. But the Western mind, because the Western mind wants to know and control and mechanize and roboticize and automatize everything because there's a shortcut for everything, the Western mind has taken us further and further and further away from nature, right? It's taken us further and further away from the earth. And the earth is what we come from the mud, from the dust, from the soil, from the worms, from the bacteria, from the seedling. That is who we are. The roots are there. Where are the roots? In all of nature, in the earth. Look how far we are from earth by mechanizing, by creating urbanization and robotic ways of living. We are further and further away from the earth. And by going further and further away from the earth, because when you live close to the earth, you are at its mercy. To be at its mercy means you're forever in the flux of the creative genesis of the earth herself. Earth is creative potential constantly. It is constantly birthing itself. Yes, earth is constantly birthing, but that means earth is constantly dying. It is constantly in the unknown. It's constantly moving. There is no paralysis in the earth. It's constant flux, constant movement, constant transformation, constant quest, because we don't know when you shake that tree, what leaves will fall. We don't know, because this is the nature of life. We don't know. It's constantly a question mark. Our fear of living in the question mark, our fear of living in the quest of the question mark is the fear of death. And so we create a life of artifice and artifact and superficiality and deceit, because we pretend to our children and to ourselves that we know, that we're certain, we can predict. We not only have done that, we've also created that we know the other worlds, and we've created a whole other systems beyond what we can ever know, because the unseen and the unknown is too terrifying for us. Yet our bodies, our human bodies, with 50 trillion cells that generate every other 2 days or 4 days or weeks, our body is generating and regenerating all the time. Red blood cells take, 2 weeks to completely regenerate. White blood cells take 4 weeks. What that means is your skin is not the same. It just looks the same in some ways. The old tissues look the same, but a lot of our skin is new. But for the skin to be new, the skin has been dying. Yeah, but you don't mind that as long as it looks the same. But in death, final death of the physical, nothing looks the same anymore. And the body truly decomposes back to earth, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. But the real spiritual meaning of that is you are always ashes, always dust. And this physical form that you twirl your hair, you put your little blush, you wear your tie and your suit, this is all, mockery of who you really are. It's all a trickery, a charade, a disguise. This is not who you really are. Who you are is poop and pus and gore and blood. It's just covered. It's just covered. And because we don't see it, the unseen, we just don't want to believe it. We only want to go with what we see. But this is not who we are. You and I are not our clothes. But yet we define each other by our clothes. You and I are just the same at the end of the day. 99% of us are just the same. The 1% change in the DNA that give you, lighter skin than me and lighter hair than me, whoopee. At the core, we are one with all of life. We are the same as every other animal, and especially the bonobo, especially the chimpanzee, especially that subset of primate. We are animal, but we have covered ourselves with all this to then believe we are all this. But this is not who we are. So if we understood our true nature that lies beneath this cover-up, we would not be in constant terror of death. We are ash, we are dust, we are pus, we are virus, we are bacteria. Why does bacteria live forever? Which is the most resilient entity on earth? Probably the virus and the bacteria. So this coronavirus has taken us for a sixer, right? Has taken us for a spin. Why? Because we weren't prepared to be lesser than a virus. We thought we were more dominant than a virus. But this virus has shown us for the first time in our lives that none of us can say what will happen in a month, not even in a week. For the first time, we don't even know whether we will live or die to see tomorrow. To me, this is an epiphany. To me, this is a wake up call. To many others, it's depressing. I understand. It's depressing because we have not prepared. We didn't go for the mass classes to understand the meaning of death. Death is constant. It's happened right now. Right now, your cells are dying. Right now, you just don't see it. And because you don't see it, you don't think it's happening. That is our illusion. But as death happens, so does life. It is constantly a chain of cause and effect. So your final form death of this form is not the end of your life. It's your end of your form-based life in this form, yes. But what happens next? It's not boom, finish. Now, I also will not tell you the soul rises with wings and joins other souls of your ancestors up in the sky and they're welcoming them with like a warm embrace. I know you want me to, but I can't tell you that because I don't know. And I'm okay not knowing. What I do know is that the body will decompose. You may not like that word, but that's okay because it becomes compost for the soil. I am okay with that. You may not be okay. You want to be flying in the sky, going to meet your great, 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 great grandmother. I understand. I hope that happens, but I don't know. So I can't say it does. And I'm just being tongue in cheek, yeah? But really, we don't know whether it does. Okay. We don't know who we're going to meet there. So don't try to fly too fast. At least go slow. Watch out. You don't know what's out there. Don't make up your own story that, and who said your great, great, great grandmother wants to meet you? Yeah, maybe she's having good sex somewhere. Like don't disturb her. All I'm saying. So do know that everything transforms. Energy transforms. So your body decomposes. The word that we don't like. Sorry, but it becomes compost food for the next. Are we not? Are we not supposed to be food for other creatures? Are we only supposed to eat other creatures? Why can't we be food for the next? And in this beautiful way, constantly transform because our ego doesn't like it. Our ego doesn't want to just be food for the grasshoppers and the beetles. We're like, huh? All my work, my legacy, and I'm just going to be that, right? No, I want to reincarnate into Mozart and I want to be the next big Beethoven. Huh? Okay. Because you think that that is who you are. To play an instrument well or to look pretty, that's who you are. And as long as that's who you are, you will constantly resist death. Instead of understanding, okay, I can be foolish in my ego while I'm living. From ashes to ashes, in between, I can be a fool. No problem. But it doesn't take away the fact, ashes I am, dust I am. So sooner or later, we want really later, but it doesn't matter because the universe doesn't look at longevity the way we do. We think longevity means a good life. We're like, can I please die after 80? And then after 80, somehow we're like, he had a good life. How do you know he had a good life? He just had a long damn life. Maybe he was a miserable SOB his whole life. Oh, but he had a long life. No, length doesn't make a difference to the universe. If you shake a tree, you could get the green leaf and the brown leaf, right? Do we say, oh, sorry, green leaf, go back, let's paste it back on the tree? No, the tree sheds it because some green go and some brown. But we were like, no, only the brown should go because a long life is a good life. Who said? A life is a life is a life. It will go when it will go. This is the harsh truth about life. But we want to live, but we don't want to understand life. To live, we must understand the nature of life. And the nature of life is death. How to sugarcoat this? It's brutal. It's brutal. No one wants to die. Number one, no one wants their loved ones to die. Why? Because we're deeply attached. We're deeply attached. Of course, no one wants it. But what to do? It's part of this obscene story called life. We're here. As long as we're here, we're going to die. Okay, I'm so sorry. You want to live? You have to die. They go hand in hand. Now, how to prepare for it with beauty? How to prepare for it so you don't become, nihilistic and apathetic and depressed? And I don't want you to leave this talk more depressed. I want you to understand what I'm about to say. When you understand that death is democratic, death doesn't know time, space, age, color, creed, beauty, race. Death doesn't understand a good death versus a bad death, a lonely death versus a death with all my family holding my hand, singing me songs. Death doesn't care about these things, because death is just like, hey, time to go, just like time to be born. It's just natural life processes. So death is not mean or cruel. It has to occur for life to continue. If the ancestors were still here, the Neanderthals and the dinosaurs, we wouldn't be here. You want to be here, something had to die. What to do? What to do? Right? If you want to lose weight, if you're obese, if you're 300 pounds and you want to lose weight, the obese you has to die. You understand? In spirit. If you want to be in a new career, the old career has to die. So similarly, if the Homo sapien wants to be here, the Homo erecti had to die. And then the dinosaurs had to die. Now what to do? We want to live, but we don't want to die. How can we do that? Then we'd have a mess in the world, which we already do. So the moment you are going to surrender, surrender, surrender. And the word surrender, sur, is on top, like to hand over, and the render is the handing. Look up the word surrender. It means to hand over, to give over. Sur is over, and render is hand. So the minute we hand over the delusion of our longevity, then something beautiful happens. Then you realize, what am I doing with my breath right now? What am I doing with this life right now? Then you realize, oh, I've been living dead. I've been living dead. Most of us are living dead. You know it. Most of you are dead to your true selves. Most of you are dead to your courage because you're so scared of losing love from the outside. Most of you are dead to your creativity and passion because you're so afraid of failure. Most of you are dead to living free because you believe you need to be enslaved. So in death, you want to be free, meaning you want to be free of death, but you don't realize that while you're living dead. So when you realize that you could die, and this coronavirus has shown us, hello, humans, you could die any moment, then you stop clinging to the future. You stop trying to predict and control the future. So if you look old, you're like, F it, I look old. If you aren't meeting the love of your life, you're like, F it, I'm here now. You stop wanting to control your present because you want to control your future. It is what it is, what it is. You begin to surrender to what it is, and you begin to come alive to the present moment, asking yourself every day, how am I living now? Am I living dead or am I living alive? Just because you're living doesn't mean you're alive. To be alive doesn't mean just to have breath. To be alive means to be in the quest, means to be in the question mark, in the constant, unseen and unknown. And this virus for the first time has taken us to that absolute place of surrender where we don't know and we cannot see what's next. You're trying to peer into the future, but you can't. And for the first time, it's teaching you, it's this moment to this moment to this moment. All I know is where my feet are right now, because I don't know where my feet will be 10 steps from now. This in itself is the biggest spiritual teaching, to know that you don't know, to know that veering and predicting into the future is absolute insanity. So now you stop trying to control the future. All you say is, how can I control the present? To be here right now. So in order to control the present, you need to be awake in the present. Means you need to be alive and fully aware. Now you got to do some work. Now you got to be on your own. Now you got to heal yourself. Now you have to go on an inner quest to manage the situation right now. Instead of just controlling life, steering life to the future, you shift the gear and begin living in the present. And now you understand the difference between living and being alive. To be alive means to be whole, here, autonomous, sovereign, sorry to say, not dependent on others to give you happiness. Sure, they can lend you happiness, but you stop relying on them. You stop desiring them to do that. You stop controlling them to do. You stop controlling life for the future. You start controlling the aliveness you have in the living moment. So this is how you turn things around. And the mystery of not knowing doesn't debilitate you, it empowers you. The mystery of not knowing doesn't debilitate you, it empowers you. Because when you say, I don't know, you stop trying to control. Therefore, you stop trying to control other people. Therefore, you stop trying to control their approval, which is the most important thing that has deadened you, is the other's approval, the other's love, the other's endorsement. You stop living for that because you realize you cannot control. And now you begin living for you. For you. Sounds selfish, but it's so not. It's authentic. It's real. It's raw. It's alive. And now you begin to ask, am I living dead or am I living alive? Okay, everyone, I'm going to run off now because I have many things to do, but I just want to remind you that my luminous community for women, sorry guys, it's only for women, is open, and it opens only twice a year. It's pinned on top of my Facebook feed, maybe in my Instagram feed too, but in my links. It's a sisterhood of the most incredible women, and for just $25 a month. For those of us in the US, that is less than a mani-pedi. The reason why I'm reminding people to consider joining is because we see now more than ever the need for a virtual community. But not only just virtual, the need to be in a community where people think like you and are of the same courage as you and the same sisterhood and communality as you. And community doesn't mean your family of origin. It so doesn't. It means who you've intentionally invited into your life to be part of your circle. And that's what Luminous is about. So the information is on my website. It's everywhere right now. The doors are open. I'd love for you to join. It's an incredible community, and you will meet incredible women. I will see you all in the next moments of life. Hope to find you fully alive.